Hi friends, Rick Bray from the Plick team coming at you from the home office because I've been seeing some emails and hearing some conversations about parent-teacher conferences and wondering if there might be a way to make the sign-up process just a little bit easier for you. So without further ado, let's dive in. All right, friends, what do you say we dive right into it? Now, the reason I'm picking Google for this is because I think it's just a little bit easier to get into than Microsoft Outlook is. But if you're really familiar with Microsoft Outlook, you can certainly try to set up something like a bookings tab, which I'll put a little card here to our bookings playlist if I can, and you can use that. But let's take a look at how Google can do it with Google Calendar. And whether you're using Google Classroom, frankly, even if you're using Schoology or Seesaw, any LMS can integrate with this. If you happen to be using Google Classroom within your course here, right, I have like my sample class, there's the little icon, let me go back, in the upper right hand corner that is for the Google Calendar, and it'll take you to the Google Calendar for that course. But really it is your Google Calendar. I can see on the right hand side, there's all sorts of stuff present. Now, what I want to do, if I don't have a Google Calendar, Google Classroom already set up, I may want to create a new, none of these, a new calendar, and I could get into that if I wanted to. But I'm going to make this in my sample class. So I'm going to take off all this other stuff, keep this highlighted, right? And I'm going to click on, you saw it, create. And what we're looking at here is an appointment schedule, right? So I'm going to click on that. Again, I can take a tour if I want, but that's what we're doing right now. So let's just keep rolling. We'll call this Fall Parent Teacher Conferences, right? Oops, no questions. Teacher conferences. Awesome. Appointment duration. How long do I want the appointment to be? I want it to be 30 minutes, let's say. You saw all sorts of different things there. In here, we can say what is it going to be in terms of it defaults to being repeated weekly. But with parent-teacher conferences, you might only have 2 days. So I'm just going to pretend it's on my calendar. It's the 21st and 22nd right here. But for repeating weekly, I'm going to say does not repeat. And it is from the 21st. And this is where I'm going to add time slots that are available. Perhaps we have a morning half day with our students. So I'll say from 12 p.m. to, I don't know, I'm just going to say 3 p.m. And then I can add another date here. I can say the 22nd. We'll pretend that it's another morning half day with my students. So I'll set it to 12 p.m. Now, maybe I have an appointment this day, so I'll show you one added feature. Maybe I'm going to say from 12 to 1:30, right? And then you see this little plus? I can add another time period in that day. So maybe I have a meeting with my team or whatever from 1:30 to 2. So we're going to do 12 to 1:30 and then 2 to 3 o'clock. So that's just how you can have multiple time frames within one day. This scheduling window, it's asking you how much time in advance appointment can be booked. Depending on what you're setting it up, the defaults are just fine. Minimum time, right, is how soon before the appointment can they book. Again, it's depending on you. I like to do 12 hours because that's usually like a day, but you may set it as 24 hours for your parent-teacher conferences. You may set it as less. It's completely up to you. That's the scheduling window. Within this booked appointment settings, here is where I can say, okay, listen, to make sure things work, I need some time in between my appointment slots. I need maybe not 30 minutes, but maybe I need 10 minutes, or maybe I need 5 minutes, or maybe I need hours. I don't know. And you can go from there. I'll just say 5 minutes on this, right? The maximum number of bookings per day, that's just probably not going to be applicable here, but it makes sure that you can't get too busy. And guests can invite others. I'm going to say no. I don't want guests inviting other people to this. Which calendar is this going to be involved in next? This is where, again, I can just set, if I didn't click the right one, I can set here to say which class it should be. I'll keep it as my sample class, and maybe I'm going to have it be orange instead of whatever it is. I certainly want to check my calendars for availability. That may not be applicable to you, but if you have events on your calendar, that will be helpful. And then lastly, co-hosts. If you are co-teaching, perhaps you want to add a teacher to this. It's completely up to you. But when that's all set, I'll just click the next button down at the bottom. And here is where, how and where we are going to meet. You can meet with Google Video, or Google Meet, video conferencing, in person, phone call, or specified later. This is really up to you. I'm thinking maybe I would say an in-person meeting, and it's going to be in, for me, I'd say Mr. Bray's room, or maybe like room 113, whatever it's going to be. And then you could put some information in here for the description. I look forward to talking with you about your child, but here's where I'm going to throw some ideas at you, right? This booking form, right? This asks for what should be on here. And it says first name, last name, and email address are required, right? I'm going to add an item and say custom item, because I want to know what is your child's name. And I'm going to make that a required question, because in the way I look at my rosters, I may not have matching last names. I may not be able to know everything by now. So it'll be helpful to know what's your child's last name. Email verification, that's up to you. That's going to require them to have a Google account to do this. I like to keep it open, so that's just me. But if you want to have a real person do this, you can require email verification. Last but not least, booking confirmations and reminders. It's going to send out a calendar invite. That's great. It will send out an email reminder if they put an email address in. And so maybe I'll do it like it says 1 day before. Maybe I'll do another one, if it's a video call, maybe I'll do it 15 minutes before and say you have a scheduled meeting starting on this time, whatever you want to get into it with. And then I click save, and poof, there it is. I have my bookable appointments for the 21st and the 22nd. And if I move to look at it by days, I can see those time slots that I made available, right? Same thing with the 21st, right? Now, the question becomes, how do I share this with people? Well, this was the little page that came up when I got there. And I can open the booking page, or I can just share the link, right? But if I open this booking page, for the most part, this is what parents will see when they click on the link that you're going to share with them. We'll take a look at that in just a second. They can see the time slots that are available on the given days. If there's nothing available, it's just a line. And they can click, 2 o'clock, and it's what's your first name, what's your last name, what's your email address, and then down here, what's your child's name? And then they click book, and they're good to go, right? Now, again, just stepping back for a second, if I wanted to send this out as a newsletter, I can click this little share option. I'm going to share by a link, and I'm going to share just a single booking page for just the ones that I made, like that parent-teacher conference that I made just now, in case maybe I have some other things that I'm signing up for. Well, I can take this link, I can highlight it to select it, copy it, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up a window here, this incognito window. I'm not signed in. I just want to show you that it's going to work. If I paste that link and I go to it, it's going to take me to that same page where, again, I don't need an account to do this. So I can take this link right here. I can add it to, if I wanted to, I could add it to Google Classroom. I could put it in something like Parent Square to send it home, as long as it's a live link. I could put it in a newsletter. Maybe I want to run this through some sort of a link shortener like Bitly or something like that, so that people don't have to enter in all these crazy long characters that are all randomized and kind of gibberish. Or if it's Seesaw, perhaps I put it out as an announcement that way. But however you choose to, or email, this link will take people to this site where they can sign up just like we saw, and we'll do a sample here at, let's try this 1:10 appointment. So my first name, I'm going to say sample parent, and I'll put my email address in here just for the fun of it. We'll do my Harpersville account, hcs.steer.org, outstanding. And my child's name is, let's go nice and generic, Spawn, right? Wonderful. And I'll say book. Boop. And so now what it did is it's sending me a calendar invite. Everything's good to go, and I have my information there. What we'll see in a few seconds is back on our page here. When I look, there is that parent, sample parent rather, and I can look and click on the event and see what the child's name is, so I can see who their child is. All right, friends, so there you have it. Taking a look at how Google Calendar can help to make the sign-up process for parent-teacher conferences or any other type of appointment that you may have going on just a little bit easier. I hope you found this video helpful and useful. If you did, please feel free to subscribe to this channel and get notifications when new content like this video is posted. And as always, thank you for watching.